It's pretty cold, but for 1 month, from the end of November until the end of December, I didn't get to see any sunlight. So the first day that I went to Germany to see my family, I sat down exactly here and I just made myself a coffee and I looked at the sun. And that was so nice. Usually when I get to see the sun for the first time, or it was like that the last year and it was like that this year, I just burst out screaming. And this time I got to see her the first time on the airplane. So I just really had to hold myself back, that I don't just start screaming in an airplane and everyone just gets scared and looks at me completely confused. So I held myself together and waited until I was with my family in Germany to start screaming at the sun. And now I got to spend the Christmas days and New Year's with my family and my friends, and it was so nice to just be in the sunlight, yes, see family and friends, and just to take a vacation from all the busyness and craziness and all the drama that was the last couple of months, but honestly also just the whole 2025. 2025 has been so difficult on so many different levels. At the beginning it was very much emotional and stress related. I had symptoms coming back from the accident that I had 7 years ago. Then there was a lot of stress at work that led to those symptoms coming back, and those symptoms were panic attacks, problems with my balance. I couldn't concentrate. It was not nice at all. And then there was a lot of emotional things that I needed to work through that were pretty difficult. But then I bought a boat, which if you have been following the videos before, you know. And I'm really, really happy about that, because I had the dream of doing so for many years now, and I finally made that possible, even if not in the way that I wanted this to happen. But I have my boat. And with that also a lot of challenges came. But the boat is still bringing me so much joy. I'm really so happy that I have the opportunity of renovating the boat and putting a lot of love into her. And what was the most challenging was just everything that was happening on the side. So then a lot of fear came up towards the end of the year, a lot of uncertainty, a lot of questions just, and me not knowing what my next step was. So 2025 was one of the most difficult years I've had, even though I've had an accident and I couldn't work anymore and I couldn't be around people and I had panic attacks and didn't know if I would ever get healthy again. Somehow 2025 was more difficult than all those years where I was trying to heal and didn't know if it was possible, because doctors tell you that it's not possible and that you should get used to staying the way that you are, but that is a different story, I guess. Annie, lekker, lekker, lekker. Whee! Come on, Annie, Annie up.
We got love that we'll never need to hide. Love will always rise above. Whatever comes, we will be just fine.
When I arrived in Germany, there was still everything green. There was no snow, but now it's so beautiful. We have a lot of snow. We have the sunlight, blue skies from time to time. Where I am from, we usually don't have too many clear blue sky days. It's a lot of rain or snow, which is great in the winter because there's a ski resort, a small one close by. So after all those months of just trying to find leaks on Mildred and trying to get her ready and figuring out where I can work, because I didn't have any job anymore, where I can live because I didn't have a home anymore. After all of that, it was so nice taking a vacation. Although I was not sure if that was the right move, because I was leaving Mildred for the first time and there was a big storm that came to the north of Norway that hit pretty hard, and Mildred of course was relatively exposed. I did prepare her with some storm lines in addition to her regular mooring lines, so she was quite fine, and that was all good, with the exception that the platform has a bridge that connects it to another platform, and that bridge fell off of the floating platform that Mildred is attached to, and in order to fall off, it had to pass by my mooring lines on the stern. So one of them actually snapped. I was very happy that I had 2 mooring lines placed, because if one of them would have just snapped and nothing else there, that would have been horrible. But one snapped, the other one stayed in place, and everything was fine. I had some friends sending me videos and pictures of her so that I could assess the situation from afar and get some people to make sure that they attach her again. And I also had a friend checking if everything is fine inside Mildred, to see if the heater is on, if the dehumidifier needs to be emptied, and to see if there is more water that came in. And I was so happy when my friend told me that there was no water on the boat. The heater was still running, the dehumidifier still had space and was not full. So everything was continuously running while I was taking my well-deserved vacation. Annie, come. Come. So that now meant that I could spend Christmas with my family, I could see my friends, and I could also spend New Year's Eve here, even though on New Year's Eve we actually don't do much, or I don't like it. But we got to celebrate on the 1st of January. That's where here in my hometown, or the hometown area, there is a concert with some Blasmusik. And then you just drink during the day and celebrate the 1st of the new year. And honestly, I'm really still celebrating that it's finally 2026 and not 2025 anymore. Oh Lord, I hope it's gonna be a better year, but honestly, it cannot be worse. Oh, I shouldn't, oh, knock on wood. I cannot risk it. It can be worse. It can be much worse, of course. But I hope it's gonna be better. And because 2025 was so usually for all the years I make myself kind of like dreams that I want to accomplish, or goals in a way. But this year I wanted to keep it a little bit more light, because everything that I wanted to have happen last year, somehow the opposite happened. And I don't have the mental strength for that anymore, not to have another year like that. So instead I did something, because I found it quite funny last year, the expression of people saying, well, that was not on my 2025 bingo card. So I made myself a bingo card. And you can tell that I've been spending a lot of time with children, because now I'm also doing stuff with cardboard. So this is my 2026 bingo card that I want to share with you, because with my friends I do a lot of voice messages, like really long voice messages, back and forth, and I tell them everything that's going on in my life, and they tell me everything about their lives, and even though we're far away, we just stay in touch this way. And I know a lot of things about their everyday lives that I think I wouldn't even know if I was actually living close to them. And with them, I decided to make bingo cards. So we took out some topics from each of our lives, or we're in the process of doing so still. Take some time, especially when they have kids. We're gonna make different topics, and then each of us gets a bingo card with the same topics, but in different allocations. And this way we can play bingo with our lives during the year and see what becomes true, what doesn't. And there's a lot of things on there that we hope will become true, and other things are on there where we kind of fear that they might become true, but then we'll see what actually happens. So I thought I'm gonna make a bingo card for you and me if you want to join, and this is what I came up with. And now we can go through 2026 together and play bingo. There's a few things on here that I really hope will happen, and some things where I worry they might happen, just like I do with my friends. So I'm just gonna guide you through what 2026 will be like for me. might be like for me. And if it doesn't, well, I'm not gonna get a bingo. That's fine. Maybe it's even good if I don't get a bingo. The backside is great.
I want you to want me forever and always, but you only want.
The first one is I will explore Lofoten with Mildred. I really hope that I can get the boat ready, that I can go a little bit south and explore Lofoten in summer, because it's nice. It's just so overcrowded on land, but on the water it's not yet, and there's a lot of really nice places to go visit. So that's the first one. Then I have put on that I can make a living with YouTube. I think that could be fun, or at least have some form of an income with that. Then the third one is that I will spend my birthday on the water, which means not living on my sailboat, but actually out exploring an adventure. And currently the plan is that I will be crewing on another person's sailboat on my birthday. So I hope that that will happen. Then I could cross this off. The next one is that I will get a cat to live on my sailboat. I don't know. I don't think it will become true, but I've been living here with a cat. My dad has a cat and a dog and a lot of chicken. And it was just so nice cuddling every night with the cat. She was sleeping in my bed every night. So that could be cute, even though I don't really want to have an animal that I need to take care of. I don't think I have the lifestyle for it. But now it's on here because it could be happening. Then next is that I find a job and I get employed. Because right now I am unemployed. I lost one job and I quit one job. So who knows, maybe I can make a living with YouTube, maybe I will find an employment. In any way, I will need some form of an income, so I have to get creative. Something needs to become true of those. Then I have that the leaks on Mildred get repaired, and I think I am closer to it, so I hope that that can be checked off. The next one is kind of something where I cross my fingers that everything goes well. It's that the motor runs smooth the whole year, because I have not yet checked the motor. That's something that will have to happen now in the winter and spring, and just keep your fingers crossed that I can cross this off at the end of the year and everything went just fine. And if you've been wondering why there was this sound in the background, my dad used to build these when I was a child in all sorts of colors, and then he sold them all over the place. My fingers are getting cold. Okay, the next one is that I will find a new home and I can move into that. I don't know. For now, I'm gonna live on the boat. I'm gonna make that possible. But I also really like to live in a house, especially if I'm stationary in one place. So who knows? Maybe I'll move into a house this year. Maybe I'll stay on my boat. We will see. And then this one is that I'm gonna drown my drone, because I've been flying with drones for many years now and always on water or around water, and this is now my fourth drone. The first one I drowned in Switzerland on a lake because the remote controls, it was a quite old one, but all are from DJI. The oldest one I was flying on a lake and the remote control kind of turned backwards. So if I wanted to fly towards me to bring it back because the battery was dying, it was flying away. If I wanted to bring it down, it actually flew up. And before I realized what was going on and could do the opposite of what I would need to do, the battery had died. And I could see it slowly going down and down and down, and then it was gone. That was my first drone. The second drone I drowned because we were in Svalbard and there was a polar bear that came towards us. He or she was curious about what we were, and we were in a dinghy and the motor had died of that dinghy. So we were paddling away, and that was the only way I could think of to distract the polar bear so that we could have enough time to paddle away back to the sailboat. And I think it was quite smart because the drone of course makes a lot of noise. So I just flew the drone in between the polar bear and us. The polar bear was still very far away. We couldn't see it, but there was so much floating ice around that it was just impossible to see whether it's a polar bear or just another ice piece. So I just flew down. I could see the polar bear and I just went back and forth, back and forth, back and forth to make a lot of noise. And then the polar bear went towards an island and we had time to get back to our boat. But I couldn't find our little dinghy within all those floating ice pieces. So that drone also I could just see slowly going down, and only at the very end when it was almost hitting the water, that's when I finally found the dinghy in the camera, but I couldn't get it back in time. So that one stayed in Svalbard. And the third one I also drowned in Svalbard. We were on a sailboat, there was whales around and it just hit a spreader or something on the sailboat and just went back down. I don't know, I'm not so attached to my drones, and until then there was no insurance of DJI saying that if you do not deliver back the drone in physical form, that you will get a replacement. You had to hand it actually in. Now you can register it on the app so that you can set it that it cannot be used anymore. So this way I can drown a drone and get a new one within a 2-year time frame from DJI. So I might drown it. It's very likely that I will drown another drone, but at least this time I don't have to pay for a full new drone. So that's on the bingo card because it's so likely.
Just be with me. Just be with me. Just be.
The next topic on my 2026 bingo card is that I will get to take friends on a trip with Mildred. That's something that I really, really hope for, because I want Mildred to be a place not only for me, but also not for taking people out, but to spend with friends. I want to go on some fun trips with some friends. That would be great. And then the next one is that I want to beat my record of ice bathing over 8 minutes. 8 minutes is what I got to do last year, because 2025 I started with doing an ice bath every single day of January, and now I would like to break the record that I had there, and that was 8 minutes. Okay, it's 7 minutes and I feel like now I'm pushing it, because the reaction will only come afterwards, really. So I'm gonna go slowly out and then I'll be out by around 8 minutes, I guess. We'll see. And I think that it is relatively likely, because another one on here, but I'm gonna overjump this one. This one down here is that I get to offer the winter adventure week. I have one sailing week planned, and mid-end of February, where I'm taking out a group and we're gonna do a lot of ice baths. Every single day we're gonna just go swimming from the boat. They are very happy about ice bathing. They do that a lot in Switzerland, actually, that group. And we're gonna go explore the north of Norway with a sailboat, going ice bathing every day, finding some nice saunas that we can visit. We're gonna do dog sledding and snow scooter rides, and we're gonna have snowshoes on the boat to go explore. I think it's gonna be an amazing week, and I really, really hope that that is happening. And for that I anyways have to practice, because I cannot have all these guests there and then I cannot get into the water because I chicken out or something. So I'm gonna practice a little bit when I'm returning to Norway, and I'm gonna take regular ice baths again so that I can beat my 8 minutes record. Another trip that I would really like to organize, that's the next spot on here, is that I would love to organize a summer adventure. We're gonna do an winter adventure now in February. It would be so cool to take some people out in summer and maybe go explore Lofoten together. Just a week of sailing around. It gets so nice and warm also up here in the north now. It's been crazy 2 summers that I had. And then the last 3 on my 2026 bingo card are that Mildred gets sold. I don't think so, but you never know. And it could be in 2 ways, right? I could need to sell her because she gets too expensive, or I cannot fix her. Or it could be that I fix her really well and I want to buy a different boat. Who knows? I'll just put it on here because it's always possible. If you have a boat, you might sell it. We'll see. And then the other one is that I'm gonna go explore the north of Norway. So sailing from Tromsø northeast. I wanna go explore the south from Tromsø, which is Lofoten and those areas, but also the north. So I put both of them on here. And the last one is something that my brother told me to put on. And that is that I will get a YouTube play button. I don't know even when you get one, how many subscribers you need, but now it's on here. Who knows? Maybe I get a lot of subscribers this year. If I want to make this a living, I should. Maybe we can make that possible. So that's my 2026 bingo card. This way I can hopefully keep it a little bit light for this year. Do not have like big hopes and dreams and goals that I'm working towards. I'll just live 2026 the way it comes. I have some hopes, but nothing really needs to happen. I'm just gonna keep it low for this year and hope that it's gonna be a little bit easier than last year. So that's now my 2026 bingo card. Let's see in January 2027 what came true, if I got a bingo or if we got a bingo together. And we'll see what 2026 will bring. Now I'm gonna spend some more time with my family before it's time to head back north to Mildred. And I'm really, really curious if I can make it possible to live on her and what stage she will be in when I get there. Keep your fingers crossed for me, please.